So we're out here in the shop today to take a look at this 2023 Ram Power Wagon build. A little different build than the previous one you saw in the video with the Ram diesel. This one is a gas-powered Power Wagon, so it has all the factory Power Wagon features along with a kind of a go fast, if you will, Carli suspension on it. A little lighter truck overall, a little smaller tire setup, not the big fender flares. This one's built to just travel across the desert a little faster than the diesel would. The gas engine helps lighten everything up. And it has a factory bed on it with the Ram boxes, which is a really popular option. And you'll see why as we go through it, how many things you can really do with those boxes other than just open them up and throw a bag of something in there. So starting right up front, Ryan created this cab rack system for it.
Yeah, our cab rack is the side plates. Those are 1/8 inch stainless, and then they're powder coated, so even if they do chip and stuff, it's not going to rust. We chose stainless over aluminum for strength. We tried to add a couple holes for tie down rings and stuff, those slots on the side. We use 80/20 crossbars, the 1x3, so a little bit more stout than some of the others. And then on top of that, that gives us a modular platform. As you can see with the Starlink, we have, I keep calling them the Starlink skis, but it's a piece of steel, and then it's got that bend on the front. So that bend on the front keeps if there was a collision or something, keeps the Starlink from flying forward. But because it's steel, we can use those magnetic feet that come with that Starlink unit. So that's up there, and then next to that is a solar panel. And we have a couple options for how big you can go with that. If you go with the Starlink Mini, you can go with a bigger solar panel, so it's kind of a balancing act.
Currently, we're using a 100-watt Merlin panel. It's a thin panel. It's flexible, so it takes any hits, tree branches, rocks, hail, no worries of breakage there. It's also a very efficient panel. Merlin does a really high-end solar panel versus some of those flimsy ones that you might have a 100-watt panel, you only get 60 watts. This one, you're gonna get most of that 100 watts out of it. And again, very lightweight and allows you to get the maximum amount of wattage out of a really small footprint there.
I think that solar panel, you can also cover up a little bit and it won't default.
Yes, that's the
big benefit.
That is the other reason we use that particular Merlin panel. A lot of your panels have to have full exposure to the sun. If you have a little bit of coverage on it, the part of the panel that's covered will overheat due to a lack of diodes in it. And Merlin makes theirs so you can have partial shade, partial coverage. That way, if you do have a tent that cantilevers a little over top of that, it's not going to burn that panel up. It's still going to allow that panel to produce whatever it can expose itself to the sun.
On that panel, we're talking about the design process. We pick that height because it makes a seamless line when we take our rack and add our crossbar towers or something to the top of that. Then we have a nice consistent platform. It looks similar, so you don't have like staggering heights. So if you put some room boxes up front and a tent in the back, it just kind of matches the same plane. When we put the Starlink up there, we got to supply that with power. With the solar panel, we got to get that power back down. So we run that wire. It's integrated internally in those racks. It's all wired through. Those are some of those things we need to know at the beginning of the process so we can manufacture it correctly for you. But since all that's kind of concealed, then they run down, go through the back, and then attach wherever they need to attach to.
As that power system, we can kind of jump into that. That's going to feed what's inside this left-hand side box here. On this end down here, we have our full electrical package. Again, we're using RedArc alpha charger, so you can monitor that battery from your phone. We're using that Garmin switch system, so it can be controlled through your phone or just right here from the switches, touch themselves, turn lights on and off. We do some independent switches, sometimes just because it's something you might want to be able to hit and make it easy. Like the water pump is always one that you don't want to have to get out your phone just to turn on the water pump just to get some pressurized water. So a nice dedicated switch for that. The Starlink has its own switch because it has that same controller that charges that internal battery. And then the compressor system is right here. This one we've added a little hose reel with a nice fill up system. We've got a little bracket incorporated in for that so that it tucks away nice and neat. Again, that air up, air down thing, if you can minimize that time, this is the new brushless twin compressor from ARB. Puts out about 50% more air than what the old one did. It's pretty slick. We just started getting these in, and they are quick, and they'll run individually, like they run in tandem, or they'll run separately if it's only needing a little bit of air. So kind of neat feature, uses a little less electric, I guess, on startup, a little lower amp draw as well. You can see some new panels that Ryan's been working on here for the top of it.
Yeah, these are going to be nice. You can buy it for the left side, right side, or both sides. These are aluminum. We have, this is kind of a standard molle pattern that we kind of twisted up a little bit, made it a little more unique, a little more user-friendly. We have nut certs that are kind of strategically placed. Those are tapped for 1024. So if you just want to run a couple quick screws in, it's easy. If you want to lace straps and stuff through, we have that. But it offers a solution for where do I put more stuff. You know, things you need quickly, things you don't want to get buried, you know, lights, your Maxtrax stuff. So you can outfit it however you want. Everyone's going to want something different. They use some factory holes that we drill out. We put a threaded insert in, and then these panels go into that. So if you're removing them a lot, you're not going to blow out any holes because it's a threaded insert in there. So, you know, as you're lacing molle bags or changing things up, those holes don't get worn out. We also manufacture this housing unit for the Garmin and the switches. We manufacture this back bracket that's specific to the Ramboxes. It matches all those factory holes in there that anchors it down. And again, there's some more custom brackets that we offer. This is just one solution that we can do.
Yeah. And again, that goes back to that, what do you want to do with your truck? Do you just want to store stuff in here? Do you just need onboard air because you don't care about all this other fancy stuff? Or maybe you just want to use the truck's battery and you have minimal lighting. So again, it's all great, it's all convenient, but it depends on the level you want to take it to. The nice thing with this is we are getting it a little more modular, if you will. Like, these are available as a separate item on our website now. We're kind of developing that to where it will be a product that you could buy and put on your truck, even if you don't have anything else from us, or the roof racks as well will fall into that category. Eventually we'll have that as a packaged item and not, you know, something that's only part of a big build. A lot of what we do is only really part of a big build. It's hard to sell it as a standalone item. In particular, our electric packages. It's tough to put together.
Integrated.
It's so integrated, exactly. It's
no way to, like, here, put this on your truck.
Unless you're a capable electrician or a person that understands how to do proper fittings, because at the end of the day, anyone can take a battery and a light switch and put a wire between them and try to turn something on and off. But every little point where you make that connection becomes so critical, particularly in an off-road situation or at a rough environment where it's wet, hot, cold, snowy, rainy, all these things are going on. If you don't treat all those connections in more of an OEM fashion, all you're gonna end up with is problems. We move around the back, you can start to see our Rambox rack system. It's a fully bolt-on system. It's the only one that doesn't require cutting up the bed or cutting up this or that. We supply all the new caps when you're able to put it on yourself if you really want to. There is an ability to do that with this rack. I'll let Ryan talk a little bit more about that.
The rack construction's just like everything else we build. 100% aluminum, 100% welded, powder coated, same sandblast, oven bake, powder coat process. That's across everything. Here you can see this is kind of outfitted. It's about ready to leave for a trip. We got our spare tire on top of our spare tire shelf. We have multiple Rotopax. We have some Maxtrax that'll store in there. A lot of lighting. All that lighting's ran internally to the rack. Some propane on the back, and we have our coiling cover. So you can still kind of put some big stuff in there. It keeps everything dry. That tire shelf sits right above all of that, so that way it still functions. Kind of retains some space that you lost. So we've kind of tried to fill every area that we could with something. There's just so much stuff you need and so limited space. So whether you want to do it this way, switch it around, it's all pretty modular.
So we've got the awning on this one right off of some more of that 3-inch 80/20. Been incorporating a lot more of that into our builds. Just because it's very strong and versatile, and it does give you a lot of nut options. We're creating now a little custom logo plates and things to clean that overall look. Part part of the design of this rack is weight. When you get a truck that you want to go fast, if you will, in the desert, weight is not your friend. If you're gonna run up the hill, you want a 20-pound backpack, not a 60-pound backpack. So this rack is 65 pounds or so, I believe. It's stripped down. Obviously, as you add things to it, it will add weight, but this truck, you have to have it. There's no spare tire. This one has the water tank underneath again, because that spare tire right there will not fit underneath. This rack makes good use of that space. If you do really need to haul something in your truck, that rack, as you can see by these pins, it'll come out. It will all break down if you need that in a pinch to get something picked up. But again, it's just trying, like Ryan mentioned, we're trying to maximize the use of that space. So we'll move around to the back here and take a look at our full extension pull-out slide system that we offer.
Here you can see our full extension slide and our water ports. We were talking about that water pump earlier with the switch up there and the 22-gallon tank underneath and the water pump underneath. So one of these would be your pressurized fill. You hook a hose up to it, fill it till it starts pouring out, and then after that you're ready to draw water using a pump. Here on our full extension slide, it's got a 1,000-pound capacity. It's completely aluminum. We weld on or bolt on L-track to this top surface so you can still strap gear down to it. The system we use, it's got real big bearings, and a lot of other slides you'll see use really tiny bearings. They get clogged up with dirt and debris over time, and then they just don't function well. A lot of the other slides aren't 100% full extension either. So with ours being that full,
you get to actually all the way to the head of that slide. You can have whatever you have sitting here, you have access to it. You're still not, because most slides you're still kind of reaching underneath the bed trying to get to that last third, because it is a less expensive way to build a slide when it doesn't come out full extension. Full extension adds one more moving member, and you have to allow for that in the strengths. These little side tables are awesome. You need someplace to cook. You need a little more space because you know you've got that full gear. You flip that down and boom, you've got two of them, and you're able to set up your stove, set up a prep table, workbench.
Workbench, yeah.
Because nothing ever breaks in the woods, right?
Yep, so we don't coat these so that they can kind of just get scratched up. If we were to powder coat it and we're cooking on it and stuff and sliding stoves around, it's just going to show a lot of wear. This, you can just hit it with a little Scotch-Brite pad and you can restore it if you really care.
Yeah.
Here you can see our rubber mat. We do that to kind of protect, to keep things from sliding around, to just kind of, if it does get really dirty, you can wash it out, stuff like that. So that's kind of beneficial. Those are all those little steps we kind of take that you don't really see when you're comparing one slide to another slide. It's these other details that go into it.
Yeah. Makes it much more functional overall for anything you want to do with it, and not just, hey, I can slide some gear in and out. With having a full deck in it, we can do bolt down track in the center if you have something specific, some kind of cargo boxes that you want to anchor in there. There's a lot of things that can be done to this and add to the functionality of it, versus trying to just make shift with the best you have or whatever, make do. This can be customized. We've gone as far as recessing things into them occasionally where an extra fridge freezer or something's a little tall to get underneath. Those are things that can be done, and you'll see in some of our older posts where we've recessed that gear in. You can see some more of the lighting back here on the rack now. This particular rack uses all the Baja Designs lights. We use a third brake light there. You can see the Wolfbox camera. We've been using those because we can incorporate them. They're kind of plug and play to where if a rack comes off, you can plug in a second camera, or say the flatbeds where a body's on there and you need to move the camera from point A to point B. It allows us to do that, where the OEM cameras are kind of more integrated in the truck and you just don't have that versatility to be able to do that. Hey, thanks for spending some time with us today on this build. Again, it's really just trying to show you what we can do on any particular platform. Our ideas are to take whatever your platform that you enjoy and make it work for you.
Give us a call or look us up at nuthouseindustries.com.